Hello, and welcome to a podcast with no theme, no direction, and three hosts with no idea what they're doing. It is currently 2:32 a.m., and you're listening to the late night ramblings of Madmen. My name is Grant. I will be your main host for today's episode, and I'm joined once again by my fellow Madmen, Andrew and John. How are we doing, guys?
Yeehaw! I'm doing good. How about you?
How's it going? Amazing. Doing pretty well. Myself.
Nice. I love how John...
Last episode...
I'm just going to say real quick, I love how John always says yeehaw. It's become like a thing now. But what were you
It
saying?
is my thing.
We're sorry if the last episode was a bit of a train wreck. The circumstances around filming that were a little funky, but hopefully this episode goes better. So yeah, Grant.
Yep. And yeah, I have a lot of things that I'd really like to talk about with the two other madmen here, and hopefully you enjoy listening. And something that has been on my mind a lot recently is old Minecraft YouTube versus newer Minecraft YouTube. And there's definitely a change there. You really can't say there's not. We'll get into some exceptions because there are exceptions, like there always are. But older Minecraft in general, older Minecraft YouTube in general, just had a different vibe to it. A lot of tones were different back then. The video pacing was different. And I just kind of noticed that, like, when you go back into older Minecraft YouTube videos, those nostalgic Stampy videos we all watched at some point, and you just think, man, it's so much different now. And then, yeah, you go and watch a newer Minecraft YouTuber, and their videos are vastly different. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that today. I think one of the main things, I'll kind of start us off here, and you guys can kind of say what's on your mind as well about this topic. But I think one of the biggest differences is just the pacing in general. Older Minecraft YouTube videos had a lot less editing, and obviously the microphone and game recording systems were lower quality back then. And while the gaming systems are higher quality now, there's a lot more editing and a lot more subtitles. Like if you watch pretty much any Tell Me In It video, they pretty much always have subtitles, which I think is a nice convenience. But I think just stuff like that, little changes, some are better, some are worse. But that's kind of one thing I really wanted to think about is just how the pacing has changed and how they're so quickly edited and they're so snappy, and a lot of times they'll put in special effects, which on paper enhance the video because there's more to watch, there's more that would grab the viewer's interest, but not really in practice. What do you guys think?
I think the biggest change, in my mind, is how different. I mean, they're almost different games that are being like you're working in. We've talked about this before, but Minecraft has changed a lot. If you think about old videos, it was either a mod showcase on Java, or it was a let's play on. There wasn't Bedrock; it was console edition. The games look different. There's that desaturated look that's just like nostalgic to me at this point, like old Xbox 360 edition Minecraft. But I think too, the internet was younger, and it's not that much younger. The internet's been around for like how long? Like, I mean, our parents'
20
generations,
years,
generations.
25
It's been around for a long time. And it's been around for a long time, but I think that it's still like it's so much different to the like
You just the vibe over it,
the
overall vibe.
It's because it was able to sort of fester and manifest for longer. Attention spans have definitely been tanked by the existence of the internet. And I think modern videos, I mean, you look at like a Tommy Innit video, it's just this like what looks like a 12-year-old boy shrieking in a British accent. It's like for like 20 minutes with like this super fast-paced editing and loud sounds, bright flashing colors, epilepsy
Exactly.
causing that sort of thing.
It's very
Whereas in
much
old videos,
it's very much made for children nowadays.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It plays into the lower attention span. and just the flashy editing, the special effects they add, kind of like what I said earlier, it really just plays into like on paper these are things that viewers want to see, but in reality it's just lowering all our attention spans.
Well, I think too, they're both were made for children. They were just made for very different types of children. Like I
That's
think
fair.
stuff like you think of Stampy. I think back in the day, the way stuff was recorded is so I'm kind of stuck in the past in this respect in the way I make my Skyrim series. But you would just
Nice self
like
plug.
load up a game. Night, yeah, thank you. Yeah, youtube.com/Super Spartoy, or in the link in the description, you can check me out. I play Skyrim. But what it used to be is you would just start up a 20-minute timer is how I do it. Start a 20-minute timer, get on a game, and just start playing and give your little commentary. And that's just how it would go. Whereas now it's like it's all like they're getting all these revenue streams. They're on Twitch, and then they take this Twitch thing and they condense it down into a little video. Something kind of like what we did another self play if you haven't seen on the channel, the Muck video we played. We played Muck together, and that was an hour and 30-minute little time playing this video game that I then edited down to be like how long did it end up being? Like
Like 20 minutes,
25,
I think
20,
20
yeah,
minutes.
20 minutes. And I think that's definitely cool, but I was listening to the story of like with Jay Schlatt where he's talking about he's a very popular YouTuber now, but what he used to make his videos were like these tribute videos. He even made a tribute to Minecraft. And he would talk about like he used to make these super like well edited high end videos, and he was like able to like just like barely creep up to like 50,000 subscribers, and then he made this live channel where he just posted like quick that he'd take like an hour to edit these live stream videos, like live stream compilations, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and he immediately rocketed to success. I think the modern internet just promotes much more heavily like the quick, fast-paced slop. That's more long form, not too long, not like an hour. They want 8 minutes, however long to get mid rolls. It promotes 8 minute videos to keep viewer retention on the site, but it posts like quick, regular. That's I think what YouTube tends to want.
Right. And I think speaking kind of to guys like Jay Schlatt and mainly a lot of the Dream SMP guys, which, yes, I know Dream SMP isn't around anymore, I don't think. But, the people who used to be in it, the Tommy in it, Dream, uh, even Technoblade, really. I think one difference that you see now is also just the fact of these people. Like 10 years ago, the people who made YouTube videos, gaming videos on YouTube, they were just, kind of more average, common people who just were like, basically, hey, I'm going to be playing this video game and I'll put it on YouTube and you can watch me play. But that could not be farther from the truth. Now, 10 years later, I mean, these guys have basically media empires as spanning across Twitter, TikTok. They have whole brands. Branding has always been a thing since the history of business, but it's not like there wasn't as prevalent 10 years ago as it is now, or I say 10 years ago, but that whole early 2010s Minecraft YouTube. And you could really extend this part to just gaming YouTube in general, YouTube gaming, and how the creators have become more than just your average Joe. They're celebrities. I mean, you watch those real life vlogs that they put out, and people are recognizing them in the street, and they're trying to get pictures with them, which again has always happened. But it's like if you see a celebrity in public, and yeah, they have multi-platform media and millions of followers across all different types of the social media. And yeah, they basically just kind of become celebrities, and then sometimes they do hang out with other celebrities like singers and movie stars and whatever. What do you guys think about that?
The game the genre and industry has definitely changed a lot since we were kids and they were putting out content, you know?
Yeah, and just how much these brands have grown, and how these guys have millions and millions of subscribers, and it just like the whole landscape of being a content creator has changed, being a big content creator at least. Um, I think that's definitely one change you could say. Another, I think, is we kind of said this earlier, but like makes them more quote unquote entertaining and quote unquote viewer friendly. I say that in quotes because we all loved videos 10 years ago that didn't have that. But I think there are always exceptions. I think the largest one being Hermitcraft, which has almost really made that really its branding. You watch a Grian episode and it's nice. It's 30 minutes long. It's sequential. He builds on what he did last episode, literally and figuratively, and it's got lower editing. There's not like fast. It's not fast paced subtitles. No background music. No weird special effects. And I think that's good and bad, more good than bad in my opinion, just because they've kind of carved these older content creators in age, yes, but really in channel. I mean, you had guys like Rendog and Etho that were making content since 2006 and 2007. Meanwhile, like and Dream's channel was created, like what, probably 6 years ago, I think. I don't really know. Don't quote me on that. But like these guys didn't really start. They started making content a while ago, yes, but they didn't start making it for mass audiences until like 3 to 5 years ago. And so I think that they've found these, kind of old YouTube, like the old guys of Minecraft YouTube have kind of found a way to um, kind of carve out that as their branding. Like, hey, we're kind of the remnants of what YouTube used to be. And they're not stuck in the past. I'm not trying to say that. But I think that's definitely part of it is they just try and kind of preserve that older stampy like format where lower editing and they do what they did last episode. Like the Dream SMP never really had episodes like they do in Hermitcraft. Like it'd just be, hey, today we're gonna do this, and tomorrow we're gonna do that. Whereas you follow a you follow a Hermitcraft YouTuber, and they're gonna be like having 60-ish episodes in a season with they work on the base, and that takes them a few episodes, and it's just a lot more sequential. Do you guys agree? I'm trying not to dominate the conversation here, but I just have a
Sorry.
lot to say about it.
Yeah.
Especially because like this type of content that we're talking about ended up saving Minecraft.
Oh yeah, that's definitely possible. I think right now Minecraft should be dead without the SMP. I think SMPs in general. I've seen a video where they say a certain SMP saved Minecraft. I disagree. I literally don't know who any of those YouTubers are. But I think the SMP format in general definitely saved Minecraft because uh, Minecraft will always be a game predominantly played by kids. Like basically every video game is predominantly played by kids, even stuff like GTA that children probably shouldn't be playing. Um, and I think that what you have to have certain not all that cringe YouTubers together. Like for instance, I think what's good about an SMP is like what's good about an SMP is the fact that you can have all these people and they help each other grow. Like let's say we had an SMP right now. So I would make a video, you watch that, then oh you see John's getting up to some silliness. Okay, fine, I'll go watch his. Like in one of the recent episodes of the Life series or Limited Life, whatever it's called, Time Life, who knows?
It's limited life.
It's Limited Life. Okay, thank you, resident life historian. But
That's me.
there's a part, and I don't want to spoil anything, where a certain character goes because they're very low on life and they have to go kill some other people to get life back. And then I was watching Green's perspective, and you don't see what's happening with this guy, so you just see them leave because they're using an Ender Porter, like an indoor teleporter thing. It's a
Yeah,
thing in the game, very cool.
Aces Chamber,
And they
whatever.
go, yeah, that's the one, Stasis Chamber. They go and then they die. It goes horribly wrong. Spoiler, sorry. And then they come back and he's like, "Oh, what happened?" Making all their weird British clucking and screeching noises as they're laughing. Very jovial, fun time. But um, I was honestly tempted. I thought about going and watching it. I was like, nah, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to see what happened, and I'll just leave it up to the imagination. But I think a lot of people would go do that.
I probably would.
Um, yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's very cool. The idea of an SMP is just it's very cool to me.
Yeah, it definitely does the creator a huge service because they can interact with other people, which is what makes up like 90% of interact of content these days, really, when you think about it.
That is definitely. I mean, you want the other thing too is it's easier to make content like that. Like if you
Exactly.
see the way I am on these podcasts versus my own channel, I'm like dead on the other videos. Like it's so hard for me to just sit in front of a computer in an empty room and talk about the game when like nothing's happening. I'm just walking through a corridor and there are just the occasional skeleton will pop out. Skyrim. It's a great game though. Don't worry. But when you're with multiple people, you just sound more alive because it's not like you're not the reality of that you're not just sitting alone isn't as present. And I think I don't want to get too far into this because if you really want to hear me rant about it, you can go to my YouTube channel. Link in the description. It's Super Spartoid.
That's
But
two self plugs.
I know I'm on a roll today,
Man's
boys.
pulling
But
out
Yeah,
all the
you're on one.
specials.
all the
Yeah, you're
stops.
on one.
But
Normally we try to wait
the
for the end of the episode, but yeah, whatever.
but the thing this sort of creates is like that kind of brings up the idea of like comfort creators and stuff and like Minecraft people who talk about like if you go to any old YouTuber and they talk about anything, top 5 or 6 comments are just like he may not have any kids of his own, but like he raised a whole generation. And like yeah, true. But also, it's
Bot
weird to
comment.
me the bot comment, yeah, I know. And they're like a verified creator, so they just immediately get blasted to the top because all the 9-year-olds like, oh my gosh, great check mark.
He has check mark. He has high value as human.
Yep, I mean, it is crazy, like, how classism got brought into YouTube. Like, if you see a check mark, you're just like, oh,
Oh
God
yeah,
among men.
you just
But
upvote that. You like that immediately.
updo them. Give them all your Reddit gold. But the thing that brings up is, like, when do we go too far with creators to where we formed a parasocial relationship? And I'm afraid that's all we can really talk about that. But want to hear more? Third time, just maybe I'll put the video in the description. You can check it out.
Please, after the podcast, we need
I
the
have a
viewer
20-minute
opinion.
video. Yes, I have a 20-minute video on my channel about parasocial relationships. So, yeah,
Yeah, and I think one last thing that we could talk about on this while we're kind of on this subject is sort of like what we touched on earlier about the whole entertainment friendly versus just like raw content. Is the mods really? I think most of the um newer Minecraft YouTube videos, 80% of them feature some kind of mod, which again, like I've said before, on paper it sounds like a great idea because hey, they're going to want to watch this one because guess what, I'm a superhero in this mod, and guess what, we're all dogs in this mod. And so it does keep content fresh, and I think that is one thing new Minecraft might have over old Minecraft, is because old Minecraft, it can get a little slow because you're like, if it's titled base building progress, oh big whoop, it's going to be a time lapse of somebody building a base, awesome, just like last episode. But and maybe I'm just like a little harsher on the older creators for that. But the newer ones, if it is an interesting mod, that gets your interest up, and I wonder what that's going to be like in Minecraft, or if you really like the sound of it, you're like, hey, I should watch that. Maybe they're going to have a link in the description, and then I can download it and go play it for myself. And so I think just the fact that there's a lot of times some kind of catch or some kind of mod to it, and I think that's definitely a big part of it.
Definitely
John,
oh,
what's that?
definitely with a lot of mods. I know that there's like the basic like cringy YouTuber stuff, like the basic I turn myself into a superhero mod.
Yeah.
And there's the basically epic.
The Insanity SMP. It's
Oh my
hardcore
gosh.
Minecraft. Have you seen that? That made the Insanity SMP. It's hardcore Minecraft, but everyone has their own superpower. You can join by
Wow.
blah blah blah. Oh man, great meme. That poor kid got bullied so much probably for that though. Deserved.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Then there's
Yeah.
the mods that create sort of a giant expansion to Minecraft, like Vault Hunters. And then there's a type of mod which I'll be talking about, which is sort of just a helpful mod in general, which is the Lightmatica mod. This mod allows you to get sort of schematics of what you want to build, so you can go over to a creative world, sort of create a rough shape of what you want, and then get a schematic of it and put it over in a survival world and get the resources and build it yourself.
I've seen creators like Smallish Beans use that before. I've always thought that would look super helpful. That's good to know.
It is very helpful. I'm using it for a giant temple that I'm working on.
Yeah, that definitely sounds really helpful because a lot of times I get lost. Does it also tell you what his? I think tell them like what resources he would need. Does this one do that as well?
Yeah, in one of the menus, you can check what blocks it has. So you can grab the blocks and it'll tell you, like, you can, like, figure out if you have the blocks for it or not.
That's pretty cool. I think, yeah, that would totally revolutionize because a lot of times, like, I've been building this lighthouse on this one world, and I'm not a builder, but yeah, I vastly, I vastly what's the word, like underestimated how much resources I would need for that. Um, and so yeah, I definitely think that would be a lot more helpful. Um, and so there are a lot of helpful mods out there. And then there's also a lot of Discord servers. And it turns out that the serious minute of today's episode actually happens to be about one of those Discord servers. Andrew, do you care to elaborate? Got a little lost in my words there. It's a pretty interesting story. You've probably seen it in the news. It's pretty famous. And yeah, I think that
Ladies and gentlemen, oh, hold on. I was muted, boys. I am so sorry.
I
I've been
was
talking
so
this whole time.
scared, dude. You
I have been
had me. I
talking
was
this
like,
entire time.
I was like,
Oh my
oh no,
gosh.
yeah, this is really
And
exciting
I was like,
news.
why is Grant talking over me? What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times I think that we do things where we will say something that is maybe a little uncouth, maybe illegal, and then we'll say in
Whoa, have
Minecraft.
you
But
started? Have you
today,
started your timer?
I
No, no,
have a
no.
story. Hold
You
on, I'm
please
not.
disobey
This
the
is not the
rules.
serious minute. This is not the serious minute.
Oh, okay.
I'm tantalizing their taste buds because this
Oh.
one I don't think you're gonna need to skip this one. This one's not that bad. But it is a little serious. But a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, we say things and we say afterwards in Minecraft. But today I have a story that I will say for 1 minute that happened outside of Minecraft, but in a Minecraft Discord server. So yeah, if you know how this works, I will have 1 minute on the clock to tell you the news. And so if you want to, we're going to say 3, 2, 1, go, and you can skip ahead if you don't want to be serious. So yeah, I don't think we have anything else. Let's get ready. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So, like I was saying, as many of you have probably seen, recently Jack Teixeira, that's the best I'm going to try to pronounce that name, was recently arrested. This is because he leaked classified American documents from the Pentagon. He got these from his job that he had working for the U.S. military. He had an office job working IT. He had this small Discord server. The one was Minecraft, the main one was called like Thug Shakers or something, and it was basically him and a bunch of these very young kids who were all there, and they all sort of saw him as like a role model from the interviews the government has done with him. And the issue was he was trying to prove that about how cool his government, because he told them I have classified documents. They all basically said we don't care. Then he was like, "Fine, look," and he sent them all this classified stuff. Now this is very serious. He's probably facing life in prison, for treason. But this is not like other ones where he's a whistleblower. This is he released these things. These have possible Jurassic conflicts and the bad stuff. That was 1 minute. So
Oh,
yeah, dang.
that's pretty interesting. I think you can. I'll say it for you because I don't think you, per the rules, I don't think you're actually allowed to say anything after. But sounds like that
Mhm.
has pretty lasting consequences. But
It
he's
does,
only
especially in
human
Ukraine. It's
after
the
all.
main. Oh,
Only
I'm only
human. I
human
wish that
after
meme
all.
After
had
Don't put
all.
the
died before
blame
this.
on me.
Don't
I
put the
know that
blame on
sucks.
me.
At least
Yeah,
it's kind of like, bro, did you release the things in the Thug Shakers? Wow, Ohio, Pentagon,
oh my
Ohio
gosh.
moment.
Minecraft in Ohio. Discord servers in
Minecraft
Ohio.
down
But
in
there's
Ohio
Ohio,
memes
swag like
must
on.
die.
Not
they
as bad
pretty
as
much have.
Oklahoma though. That think,
They kind of
yeah,
have.
that I will be. I think I'll be nostalgic towards Ohio memes the same way I am towards like Big Chungus.
Oh, Big
Y'all
Chungus was
remember Super Idol
fantastic.
Dijon? I completely forgot about Super Idol. That
Oh
was a meme there for a little
yeah.
bit in like 2021. Super Idol Dijon, I am
Super
here.
Idol.
Good meme, good
Um,
meme.
yeah, I kind of forgot about that too.
No sup.
It's just kind of funny how like just random games. I love how that is just like random like games and things just like kind of enter the meme sphere. But just thinking about games for a minute, another thing I'd really like to talk about with you guys, and I'm sure John is too. He's probably going to take the lead on the subject. Is the Tears of the Kingdom trailer? That looks so cool, but I'm gonna hold off. John, why don't you explain that?
Okay, so I've done, I guess a little bit of research, aka I watched
Oh
the
wait,
video and the trailer. Um,
do you want actually? Wait, John, I have a question. Are you planning on? Do you want to go with this one, or are you like? Did you do research, or no, actually, hold on, never mind. Cut what I just said. We're good.
I
Continue.
watched,
I was just
like,
gonna say.
again, I watched the video, so your guys' input would be great on this.
Okay.
But I heard that, like, there's a fan theory that Demise from Skyward Sword is gonna show up.
Nice. Oh, voice
Um,
crack.
and it's gonna be, like, this new one is gonna be about, breaking the cycle of reincarnation for both Ganon, Zelda, and Link.
So that's how they explain how he's
Okay.
always the villain in like every Zelda. Like, and I'm not even that much of a like Zelda. Like,
Zelda.
I've never played Zelda. But
Well,
I've
the
never
lore
played Legend of Zelda.
is.
But Ganondorf is like always there. I know that he's like the Bowser of Zelda.
Oh yeah. Well, the lore
Um,
is with that. Is that before Hyrule had like begun, the goddess Hylia. So like the Demise, which is basically like this world's version of like the devil. This is in Skyward Sword, by the way. He comes up with all of his goonies, which makes the goddess Hylia take her Hylians up to the sky on Sky Islands, and uh, Link ends up sealing Demise at the end of the game. Spoilers, sorry. But he like utters this curse
dang.
that forever they will be trapped in a cycle where there are going to be three people, each of which will have one piece of the Triforce: wisdom, power, and courage. Link, the boy, will always have courage, power to be gotten by Ganon, and wisdom by the princess. And the three of them basically get reincarnated forever. Also, the Master Sword always ends up in it. But this most recent one, I don't agree with the theory that it's gonna break the cycle. I think Demise may very well show up. I do believe it's a trilogy: Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Skyward Sword. Um, because I think Skyward Sword is definitely about power because it's all about like the beginning of Demise and stuff and like all the red motifs with like Link's bird and that sort of thing. which is red is like the color of Ganon in it, and that's like also with power, which is one of the pieces of the Triforce. The main game, think of all the Sheikah and the blue. That would be the game of wisdom in Breath of the Wild, because like the Sheikah tech, all that stuff. And I think this
Yeah.
game, you see a lot of green, and I think it's going to be based on courage, which means we may be facing a pretty spoopy title. Um, Especially because of like the underground caves and stuff. I think I'm very excited about this, and also the
Oh
Re-Dead
no.
are probably coming back.
Did they make
What?
Zelda a horror game?
Highly doubtful. Most of it's taking what I think may be happening is because there was a Re-Dead shown in, and those are usually the sign of a spooky title. There's a Re-Dead shown in like the cave area. I'm thinking the reason the Sky Islands are so peaceful is the Sky Islands are going to be the peaceful area. The Ganon's enemies are going to be in the middle of the world, and then they're going to be like dungeons underground because people complain about no dungeons. Also, what's interesting is there are no Sheikah. There's no Sheikah tech in this one. Like if you look around to where the shrines are, they're all gone, and instead what you see on one area where the shrine used to be is there's a hole full of malice. So I'm thinking for replacing the shrine dungeons, you're going to be going into the subterranean areas, so they may be doing some spooky stuff. Also with this game, they are releasing a collector's edition, which I want very badly. The problem is it's sold out everywhere, and I've not been able to get my hands on one,
Right.
which is very sad. It comes with a steel book, an art book, the game, a pin set, and a metal poster. And I would be very sad if I can't get it because there's no way I buy the game and then buy the collector's edition. It's just too expensive to do that. Because this game is going to be $70, the first $70 Nintendo game, which I
What?
think is indicative of a larger problem. Yeah, I know. The games are going up in price, and of course,
Classic
this
Andrew.
now I think.
Why don't you
Hmm?
make a
Oh.
1-hour commentary YouTube video about that?
Things are going up. I think the way this podcast may start going is we'll be talking about this and as the top of the video. Well, I think this is indicative of you're like, no, shut up. We can't do this again.
Yeah, I think that's a you thing. There's
That's
a
a me
larger
thing.
problem at
Yeah,
play.
that's a you thing.
That's a you thing
Well, I
all
really
the way,
think this
my
is
guy.
indicative of my ability to always.
Yeah, I think this is indicative of something else. Yeah.
I mean, even
but-
when I did my rant about not Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, I made it somewhat short.
Yeah.
Oh, John, yeah,
going-
that was concise.
This is a skill
Going
issue, my guy.
Yeah, going back to the subject, I think the reason they won't have him break the cycle of incarnation or reincarnation or whatever is probably because of money.
Agreed. I saw a
I
video.
I mean,
called
who
Is
said
This
that it
the
had to
Last
be
Zelda game?
successful?
What's that?
I mean, who said that the breaking it would have to be successful?
Oh, good
That's a
point.
good point.
That's a good point.
Oh, hold on.
It
Game
would be
theory.
it would be pretty bad if for like PR or whatever if he tried and then just failed. You know, I'm like, I don't think they'd do
Yeah.
that. I
Well,
think they'd
actually, there have been a
probably-
few titles where Link fails, right? That's no, that's the timeline. Never mind. I'm a goofy goober. Sorry. What I do think is possible is I think I do like how Nintendo has definitely stuck to its roots, where it like Mario is just no real story. It's just bad guy Mario, princess Mario saves the princess. And I think they should definitely stick with that for Mario, the simplistic story, because everyone likes that. They
with
don't
a
need to
really
change
cool
it.
Jack Black song in there in between.
Peaches, 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 peaches. Yeah.
I'm gonna love you. Oh gosh, no. I'm
Oh,
not
it's
even
so
trying.
good. I haven't seen the movie, but it looks amazing.
It goes so hard.
With The Legend of Zelda, what I really like about them is they usually have that same type of storyline where there is the princess and there is Zelda and there is Ganon, but they reuse and edit things so masterfully. The Zelda series is one of my favorite. I'm a bit of a Zelda lore historian. I currently own 2 Zelda books. I'm reading one and I've finished the other. And I plan to get a couple more that they produced. But the Zelda history and lore, if you want to look into it, I recommend the channel Zeltic. There's my plug of this episode, because he makes some really good lore videos and breakdowns. He made an hour-long video about the most recent trailer, which I was so excited. I remember the first
Yeah, that
trailer
sounds
came
like
out.
an Andrew video.
Yeah, I know, an hour long about some like 5-minute video. But the original trailer came out 2019, I think, and it was hype because You saw the Zonai runes. And it's like the yep, as like the hand is reaching up because like, oh yay, Ganondorf is back.
I
But
have no idea
then
what
there
you're
were a
talking
couple.
about, but that sound effect was. Can we please see more of that?
Oh, yeah, thank you, thank you. It was the backwards speaking type of thing, but it was really cool in the
Ah,
trailer.
okay.
And they made a few more trailers, and I remember seeing they did this like gameplay trailer. They were showing all the new like runes, and I was like, I mean, I'm gonna buy it because it's a Zelda game, and I love the first game. But it was like I was worried because looking at the trailers that they had made so far, if it were any other game series, I would have just said, "Nah, I'm not wasting my money." But then Mother truckers, boys, they hit us with the most recent trailer. If you have not seen it, go watch it. I saw this one YouTuber who made a whole rant video about how you like gaming trailers have fallen off. In the next video, he made an apology because the new Breath of the
Lol.
Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, like literally, it was an hour after he posted the video, they dropped the new trailer and it slapped so hard. It was amazing. And I have like there's just so little to say about it. It was just so good and it was so hype. And I cannot
That's
wait for
pretty
this
cool.
game to come out. Come out very soon, but
That was pretty cool. John, what do you
Was
think?
a really good trailer. That was definitely one of my favorite game trailers in a very long time.
yeah, it hit. That music,
Yeah.
oh man, the
Oh, that saxophone. That saxophone. That was fantastic. That was. Ooh, that goes so hard.
Let's
Oh,
hope we don't get copyright striked.
I
peaches, peaches,
I would
peaches,
I would
peaches,
say
peaches.
no, but yeah, knowing Nintendo,
What are they gonna do? Take our money? Get it?
We
Ooh,
don't make any
dang,
money.
We don't make any.
dang, you did not, you didn't have to remind us.
Yeah.
uh,
Speaking of which, you guys can super chat right now. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have a paid system.
become a member today. Nah,
Become a member
we're
today. Well,
doing it.
actually, if you guys see a join icon, if you see a join icon, or if you go in
In it
the
now, in it
description
now.
and there is a Patreon, please join our Patreon. We don't have one right now, but if you're in the future and we do, it'll probably be in like the description, or if you know we have one, go in and join. It's however many dollars it is, and you get whatever perks you get from it. And you'll also be credited at the end of the podcast. Maybe I don't know if we do that. I don't know us, our future selves,
Maybe not.
but
Reminder for
maybe
future
maybe
me
not.
to do that.
Yeah,
Make a
yeah, that's on you,
Patreon. That'd
John.
be so cool.
Um, yeah, and so this has been pretty fun. And I think another thing that I've been itching to talk about now is we have some very exciting sports development things going on, and so I know that really doesn't that's not very related to the whole Tears of the Kingdom thing, but I thought I should share these as my sports segment for this week. Everyone's favorite segment, of course, trademarked. Um, and if I cut you guys off, I'm really sorry, by the way. But I was just like, okay, I want to do the sports segment now. But the big thing for this sports segment this week is basically just playoff season. Not every sport is in the playoffs. As a NASCAR fan, it's touchy when people call it playoff season. I'm always like playoff season in the fall, but regardless, most sports are in the playoffs right now. The most famous, perhaps, being the NBA. The Miami Heat shocked the number one Milwaukee Bucks in the East to take Game One in their series. And basically, how the playoff system works, it's a lot like the MLB playoffs, where it's basically best of seven. So you have to whichever team gets to 4 game wins first in the series wins. So that's huge for Miami. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were a play-in team, and they just took down the number one Bucks. And to add on more to Milwaukee's pain, their star Giannis, he is injured with a back contusion. So we wish him the best. We wish him a speedy recovery. But it's definitely going to be very hard for them to keep going without their star. I think they can still do it. They're a well-rounded enough team. And moving on from that, the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James's team, as many amateurs know it as. Um, Lakers fans right now are just like dying. But they got game one of their series versus number two Grizzlies. And yeah, the Lakers, it's not really been the best of years for them, but they're making it happen here in the playoffs. By the time this is out, obviously they'll have played more games, but I'm just doing what I can with the knowledge that I have. And so that's pretty cool. Rui Hachimura had a big, I hope I said that right, had a very big second half with 29 points and led the team's dominant performance. And then there was a lot of other games that were played, and I didn't really think they were quite as interesting. Most notably, the Boston Celtics Atlanta Hawks game, which to no one's surprise was a pretty big Boston blowout. The Celtics blew out the Hawks there. But I did also want to mention the Sacramento Kings edging the Golden State Warriors by just 3 points to win their game one. I love a good close game. And the fact that it's the Kings because they haven't really done anything much in the past like 16 or 17 years, that's good redemption for them. Another sport that's going through their playoffs right now is the NHL playoffs. They just set this past weekend, but I mean they're playing right now as we're recording. I literally just got a notification on my phone about the one of the games. But the matchups for round one are the New Jersey Devils versus the New York Rangers. The series leading Boston Bruins versus the Florida Panthers. The Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Leafs. That's right, they're Canadian. The versus the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'm sorry, I hate to cut in. I know it's your thing. The Toronto Maple Leafs. I've said
Yep.
before on this podcast that we should invade Canada, but oh my goodness
I
gracious.
know it's pretty atrocious.
Leafs?
Yes,
It's atrocious,
Leafs.
dude.
I know.
Leafs.
I know.
Gracious. Great heavens.
I
Also,
think
did
we
we
can
ever
get
talk
enough
about
support. We can get enough support from English literature people and grammatical Nazis to not. I shouldn't say that. The grammatical people.
We're gonna get canceled before a show takes off, aren't we?
Yep.
gracious?
But the grammar people would happily do that with you. But anyways, going back to what we were saying.
We have the power of Minecraft,
Yes.
Ultrasaur, and anime on our side.
Yes. The Carolina Hurricanes will play the New York Islanders. The Edmonton Oilers play the LA Kings. The Colorado Avalanche will play the Seattle Kraken, which I'm pretty sure this is their first year, so props to them. Maybe their second. The Dallas Stars versus the Minnesota Wild, and finally the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Winnipeg Jets. I don't really follow NHL too closely. It's a really cool thing, and I love hockey, but I just never really find the time to watch any of the games. But if your team is one of these teams, then lucky you. If not, then there's always next year, my friend. And then lastly, for playoff season, over in Europe, the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals, their leg one is complete, which sounds a little confusing to most Americans, but they basically play their series in two halves. Like, for instance, let's say Team A and Team B were in a two-leg game, in a two-leg series, and Team A beats Team B by 2-0. Then going into the second game, they would have a 2-0 lead, so the team B would have to win by 3 points to advance. So it's basically just like two soccer games, just like spread out over 2 weeks. But anyways, the quarterfinals leg one is complete. Inter Milan beat Benfica. Gosh, I never know how to pronounce that right. 2-0. Manchester City beat Bayern Munich 3-0. AC Milan down to Napoli 1-0, and finally Real Madrid beat Chelsea 2-0. And the Chelsea, I don't know if this was the head coach or the general manager, or somebody, some higher up over there said that they would blow out Real Madrid 3-0, and they ended up being the 1-0. And yeah, Real Madrid got 2 points, so suck at Chelsea. So that's basically the wrap on playoff season. But some other sports news going around the world is Jalen Hurts just signed with the Philadelphia Eagles to become the highest paid quarterback in NFL history with a 5-year, $255 million deal, which included $110 million for signing. Just for signing. He put his signature down and got $110 million. That's he's doing life right. And then one last thing. Well, not actually. That's not one last thing. But the Boston Marathon did happen last weekend. Uh, Here we go with the names. Kenya's Evans Chebet. Oh, I hope I said that. Best all time, greatest of all time, Eliud Kipchoge, with a time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 54 seconds for those non runners out there. That's basically an hour off of an average half marathon pace, and he did a full other half marathon in just an hour more, which is unbelievably fast. And Kipchoge was leading, but then fell in the famous Heartbreak Hill, not literally, but figuratively, his pace slowed down, and he fell to sixth. And then Helen Obiri, hope I said that right, won the women's race to complete the Kenya sweep. And lastly, Marcel Hug of Switzerland won the wheelchair race in record time. I'd like to give a big shout out to the wheelchair homies out there who did this Boston Marathon race, just because I can't imagine doing a marathon in a wheelchair. I can't really imagine running one, but doing one in a wheelchair just has to be that much harder. So props to him and all the participants there. And then now, lastly, Kyle Larson passed Joey Logano late to win the NASCAR Cup Series race at Martinsville this past Sunday. There's not really a lot to say here. This was his second win and Hendrick Motorsports' fourth win out of, I think, probably like 9 or 10. So they're on fire this year. And then, more importantly, really, this weekend is Talladega, NASCAR Cup Series, Talladega Super Speedway. That's on 3 p.m. on Sunday at Fox. I would not, like, I know I'm a NASCAR fan, so there's a lot of interest and there's a lot in it for me to say, like, oh, you don't want to miss this race, but really, you don't want to miss this race. This is a good race. Talladega always has some good racing. So if you can make that, I would highly encourage it. And yeah, that's about it
Talladega, I have
for the
been
sports
to the
segment.
Talladega Motor Speedway. I want to say a couple sports things that I came up with. Great job, Grant. Killed it as always. Round of applause in the comments for him.
Thank you.
Talladega is a great place. I went there one time. It was really neat. I went to a guitar store, thought about buying a guitar, then realized that they are more than $20, and walked out empty-handed. But also,
Yikes.
the actual speedway is very cool. Guitars are actually like really expensive. Yeah, it's a nice instrument, but like crazy expensive. I wonder how many guitars someone picks up and they're like, it's boring, and they go back to watching like YouTube. And I know that's what would happen if I bought one. So, but I think the other thing I was going to say was I have begun to follow AFC Wimbledon, which is probably the best soccer team.
Wimbledon.
And I don't think Wimbledon. Sorry, isn't it
I know
Wimbledon?
that's
Is
the
it
tennis
Wimbledon?
thing. That's the tennis thing. You may
Yeah.
not be wrong. Yeah.
The thing is Wimbledon. They're like this little team, and John and Hank Green own them. But the other thing is that Talladega is the setting for one of the greatest sports movies. Well, the greatest sports movie of all time, Talladega Nights. You want to tell me about that, Grant?
If you're the comedy, good for you. If you're into NASCAR,
Uh-huh.
then you know. If you're a NASCAR fan and you've seen it, then I don't really think I need to waste much time talking about it, because you know what's all the many things that are wrong with it.
You know what is terrifying about it is there's a
What?
scene where this guy he like falls out and he thinks he's on fire. It's real funny
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's like the invisible fire is burning him because his friend is dumb.
Yeah.
But what happened recently is a guy, there was an NASCAR, I saw a video of this a long time ago, not recently, it was a while ago. He was like running around like he was on fire, and everyone's like, what's happening? So they just distinguished him anyway. And what happened was it was like it was some leak of some gas in the car that set on fire, and the smoke, in the sunlight, the flames were completely clear. So he was on fire and you couldn't see it.
Yeah, I mean,
Scary stuff.
a lot of stuff can go wrong on those cars, and that is definitely one of the things that that's definitely one of the things that's scary about it. Like they have cut gas lines in there, or oil lines or whatever, and drivers will sometimes get very minor cases of carbon monoxide poisoning and can't race anymore for their race. And most of the time they're recovered, like within a few days. Um, but yeah, that's definitely race car driving. It's fun to watch. It's fun to drive, but It's not without its risks, just like any other sport.
Got a
And
need
so,
for speed.
yup, you have the need for speed.
Just a
Um,
question based on
yeah,
about
go.
NASCAR in general, because I only really know about Talladega Nights. Do the two winners have to kiss in the end, or is that just in the movie?
That's just in the movie.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I didn't know.
Yeah. Um, I don't really know how I'm supposed to bring up this spooky segment we've got here from that. Uh, I don't really know how I'm supposed to bring it up. But next up, I wanted to talk about the spooky segment. And so last time I hosted, we were in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, talking about the Blue Boy. I think that was about a month ago. This week, we're traveling over to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, to visit the ghosts of the Crescent Hotel. Um, and this opened in 1886. And before it opened, actually, while it was under construction, a worker named Michael was killed, and apparently his ghost reportedly still haunts room 218. So yeah, guess Arkansas does have something interesting. What do you know? But the hotel came under the ownership of known medical fraud Norman Baker in 1937, who thought he was a doctor. He turned it into the Baker Cancer Hospital, claiming to have the cure for the disease. Remember, he claimed to have the cure for cancer in 1937, and here we are in 2023. So, yeah, I definitely don't want to know what Norman Baker's doing over there. Or maybe I don't, because patients who died under his care got buried right in the hotel's basement, which was kind of like a makeshift morgue. That's really creepy. He got arrested in 1940, presumably for malpractice, but his patient spirits are said to still remain because the hotel is still open. Guests often say they see apparitions and hear noises during their stays. And the one of the shows on Sci-Fi, Ghost Hunters, they apparently have footage of something moving in the basement. I would not go down there. Would I say in the haunted hotel? Maybe. I mean, there's not really a lot else to do in Arkansas, so I don't know. What do you guys think?
I know.
I've stayed.
Oh, go ahead.
I've actually stayed in a historically haunted hotel. There
Wait,
was
real?
a, yeah.
Oh,
There was
dang.
a hotel in Sioux Falls, North Dakota, that I stayed at like years and years ago. But we didn't stay near it. But there's one room that I think you can stay at where they were gonna get married because the hotel you can get married at the hotel, and this has been a tradition for a long time. I don't know, you can't anymore, but you used to be able to. And what happened was, this young couple was getting married, and the girl was like, "Oh, let me go get ready." So she went up to her room, and then she jumped
Bruh.
from the like fifth or sixth story window and killed herself. Presumably to get out of getting married. But they say that if you stay in that room, she comes and she gets all spooky. It gets, nice and spooky. Also, awesome Pokemon store there.
In
Definitely
Sioux
that was the
Falls?
coolest part. And Sioux Falls, man, there
That's
was this like
unexpected.
we were just walking around like this place is pretty cool. There was two cool things. There was this like restaurant we stayed at, or not restaurant we stayed at, it was a restaurant we ate at, and there were all these tables, but there was one that was literally in like an old like Volkswagen bus thing, and there was a booth in there, and we ate in there. It was really cool. And the other thing was we went to the was that card stop shop. And I went there so much and got Yu-Gi-Oh cards out of their bin where every Yu-Gi-Oh card was 5 cents. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I didn't get haunted sadly. I thought I
Um,
was gonna, but I didn't get haunted.
yeah, that's interesting. And there's just like so much like with my spooky stories that I'm doing every time I host. There's so much you can cover. Like there's stories of like kings haunting castles and whatever. And speaking of kings, um, speaking of kings, the widely regarded king of anime is down. No, it's not a person. I probably could have worded that better. But Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has been officially dethroned, guys. And when I didn't actually find this out until I think this was Andrew. Andrew, did you tell me? I think Andrew told me. that Full Metal Alchemist, according to one of the most credible fan lists, was apparently not the number one anymore. Andrew, this is kind of like your thing. So what do you think about that? You're on mute again, by the way.
Yes, sorry. Oh yeah, I know. I just realized. Yes.
I was like,
So
I'm not about to make the same mistake twice.
I believe it's called like an anime list, but for forever now, people always talk about how it is officially the number one anime. Now that list site, that is a vote thing, so you can put whatever your favorite anime is on that, and that is the top rated anime on that website. Um, and it has been forever. But this random new contender I've never even heard of just came out of the woodwork and dethroned it. Fullmetal Alchemist is one of the best shows I've ever seen, and this new show does not look good. We're a little unprepared here because I don't know what that show is even about, I'm afraid. But
I know
yeah,
a bit
like
about it if you want me to elaborate.
Yeah, sure.
please do, John.
So I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, it's about like a pop star artist who basically gives up her legacy to her son and daughter, and it's their struggle to live up to it.
Huh.
Oh my gosh, you know what this is? I've seen crap about this. Like just like little YouTube shorts, I always scrolled past them. But I've heard it's very good.
Wait, what's it
Will
called?
I be watching? Probably not. Like Opino, some.
It's something
Sure, I feel
Japanese.
bad.
Like
Gotta love,
Jono Kimio.
gotta love
Oh,
a
this
well
is so.
prepared. Gotta love a well prepared. Gosh, I gotta look this up. Thanks so much, guys.
I'll,
I'm
I'll
so
send you
sorry.
it later.
You gotta
Also-
love a well prepared podcast host.
I think Ranking of Kings, which is a really good anime. Like really.
Oh, I've heard about
art
that.
style.
Yeah.
I think it, if I remember correctly, I think it got a second season recently, which I've been waiting for a little bit. Also,
Pretty cool.
big news for Naruto fans. We are getting a Minato, who's Naruto's dad. We're getting a
Oh, your audio died.
He cut it out. There's background noise. This is all gonna get cut
Oh.
out anyway. So, I could say something totally bad right now.
Sorry about that.
Oh wait, that'd be so funny.
Minato, who's Naruto's dad, is going to get his own manga and eventually an anime. And we've been waiting for that for a while. Also,
That's pretty cool.
Naruto Shippuden is getting 4 new... More, most likely. So we only have 4 confirmed new episodes. But the creator has said he wants to do more than 4 more episodes for Naruto Shippuden. Which means it might rival... it might eventually start rivaling One Piece for the most episodes.
Do they hold the world record? Is that like an established thing?
Oh no, yeah, One Piece has the most,
Yeah, because I know they're infamous
over
for it.
1,000 episodes
Well,
now.
Actually, depends on how you look at it. Whether okay, for instance, One Piece, because like it's all One Piece. There's no spin-offs. One Piece has all the most, but there are like 3 different Dragon Balls. So if you put all the
That's
Dragon Balls
true.
together, I'm sure it would beat that.
And
But
like,
for instance,
how many? 5 or 6 different JoJos?
Yeah, there's no way Naruto could
There
beat
are
One
9
Piece because
JoJos.
Wow.
Naruto is one show, Shippuden is another show, Boruto is another show, and this will be another show. But if you put it all together, but even then, now it's like probably doesn't even hold a candle to something like Dragon Ball. There are these animes that will go like Dragon
True.
Ball has been. I think Dragon Ball is older than my dad or something like that. Isn't it really old? Like it's around like the 40s or something. I
Yeah,
might be
it was
totally off.
before, I'm pretty sure it was before South Park.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
dang!
been
I thought it was like
around.
the late '90s. Dang.
No, it's like
Okay.
a
It's
like
it's
it's either
early
the
80s.
Oh, it's not older than my dad. Never mind. I thought it was like the 40s.
Nah. I mean, I think Japan was doing some other stuff in the '40s, if you know what I mean.
Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
whoops.
We'll leave it at
Axis
that.
powers.
But
Oh, now.
yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I will definitely check this out. I think Full Metal Alchemist will always be number one in my heart. And to be fair, this is just a fan list. It's not like anything official. This is just what's widely considered. You can still totally like FMAB more, which I will. Trust me, you're not alone.
Everyone probably will. Like, this probably isn't even that good.
I wonder
No
why it
offense
got
to
upvoted
it,
so
but
much. Huh.
Green was probably like, guys, this new anime.
Yeah,
New waifu,
I'd love,
you know.
I'd love to trash on you for that, but you might be right.
Yeah. That's the thing with like Dream. Like what he'll do is like, for instance, he just tweeted Blow Squid,
Oh gosh.
and then the Glow Squid got upvoted. Man, I would never prey on someone's downfall, but let me just say I got some cathartic joy from making that little outro bit on the Dream SMP episode.
Well, we've already covered that, so you can go and check out that episode if you want to hear a big long
Oh,
rant
it's a cool
about that.
episode. It's called We Finally Talk About It, I think.
Yeah. Because we had been alluding to it for a little while. So it has been probably about an hour. So I think we're gonna stop it here.
Get down, boys.
Yeah, that was really fun having y'all. And hosting this one. Yeah, just next week. Tune in next week. John will be the host, and yeah, and enjoy your Friday or maybe Saturday if something goes wrong with the upload. And any final thoughts, guys?
Great episode. I really enjoyed. I think that I wish I had more time for the serious minute, like serious 5 minutes, but it's a joke mostly. But yeah, it was really good.
You make a serious episode, dude. I don't want to hear it.
That's fair, yeah. I have my own channel for that. But
yeah, that's true. Which
always
you can
great
check out
talking
in
to
the
y'all.
description for the 85th
Yes. You can check all of us out in the description, except for Grant. But you can check me
Still
and John.
anonymous.
John does Twitch. I do
Only ghost.
YouTube. So yeah, check us out.
And I do the podcast.
Joy and Red.66, yes.
Yeah, I do the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. You're not special.
Yeehaw.
I'm just kidding.
I make the itinerary. So yeah, that was really fun. We hope to see you next week, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and bye.
We will see you all
Peace.
next time.